Hi, welcome to the British English Hub. I'm Paul. Today I'm going to be speaking about superlatives. This follows on from the previous session when I talked about comparatives. I'm going to be giving you some explanations. I'm going to be speaking to you a little bit about or giving you some example sentences. Obviously fit in different contexts, and I'll give you a very brief summing up at the end. Okay. Anyway, here we go. We'll jump straight into it. People, items, electronic devices, you name it. And it's comparing two or more things. So it could be comparing three or four or six or whatever. Okay, it really depends on the context. So primarily, superlatives give ratings, and I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. So here's the simplest or one of the most commonly used adjectives: good, the adjective good. So the comparative would be better, okay, and the superlative would be best, okay. So adjectives with two or fewer syllables, okay. So we use, this is referring to those smaller adjectives, okay. So remember, in actual superlative sentences, do not forget the definite article, which is the, okay. A lot of students, no matter what level, they always omit the. So it's really important to include it to sound correct. The plus adjective plus est stroke ist, iest. Okay, so in this sense, it would be, this is one example: biggest or busiest. It's pronounced ist. Say ist, biggie, okay, biggest, biggest, busiest, busiest. Okay, okay, so adjectives that end in y, here's some examples: happy, merry, busy, greedy. Okay, so the y always changes to an I in a superlative sense, even a comparative as well. Okay, so busy in a sense will become busier with I, not with Y, but with I. Busy becomes busier with I. Okay, this is one of the rules that you need to take into consideration. Okay, so superlatives, we use them to suggest something that is number one. And this could be regarding size, length, quality, ranking, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to give you some prime examples in a little while. Okay, so let's look at these examples. So the Nile is the longest river in the world, meaning there is no other river in the world that is longer than the Nile. The Amazon, no. The Shanghai, no. No river, River Thames especially, no. No river is longer than the Nile. The Nile is the longest. It's not longest, it's the longest with article, okay, with definite article. Mount Everest is the highest mountain. You don't have to say in the world, it can be inferred, okay? So you can say Mount Everest is the highest mountain. End of sentence, okay? James is the happiest person I know. There is no other person happier than James. James is the happiest. Lucky, lucky James. Okay, Julie is the brightest person in the class. Bright meaning intelligent. Brightest meaning she's, no other person in the class gets better grades than Julie. Well done, Julie. Okay, keep up the good work. Russia is the largest country in the world. It is number one. There is no country bigger or larger than Russia. And we are talking geographic mass here. Not we're talking about population, we're talking about geography. Okay? If the adjective has two or more syllables, e.g. intelligent, intelligent, that's four, we use most. We don't say intelligentist. We use most intelligent. Okay, so we replace the IEST or EST with most if the adjective has two or more syllables. And this is very similar to comparatives as well. Marina is the most intelligent person in the class. Okay, Paris is arguably, not certain, arguably the most cultured country in the world. Some people might beg to differ. They might argue that Italy is more cultured or UK is more cultured. But in this particular instance, Paris is the most cultured country. Okay, or arguably. Iceland has the most beautiful landscape in Europe. Now this is very subjective, okay? This is down to your own personal point of view or opinion, whatever. Okay, so it has the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 3 syllables exceeds the 2 limit, so we put in most. Most beautiful. We do not say beautifulist. Okay, the most beautiful. Okay, there are 2 more cases where we can use superlatives. Okay, first one is one of the, which is close to number 1. This is a generalization. This could be, I'll explain that in more detail, it could be the second or third or fourth, whatever, but we use in a generalization as one of the most because we're not certain it's the most. Okay, then in the other instance we talk about nominal numbers being second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. So we'll talk about that in a while. Firstly, we'll talk about one of the. So for example, the USA is one of the biggest countries in the world. Not number 1, it might be the second, it might be the third, it might be the fourth, we do not know. But we're just saying it's round about that figure, it's round about one of the most. Okay, if we use one of the most, the noun must be plural. So country turns to country. So USA is the biggest country in the world, singular, is the biggest country. But when we say one of the biggest countries, it becomes pluralized. Okay, so the country becomes countries. Paris is arguably one of the most cultured countries in Europe. Countries, again, plural. Okay, because we're saying one of the. Okay, James is one of the tallest people in the class. He's not the tallest. He might be the second, he might be the third, he might be the fourth, we don't know. But we're saying he's close to being the tallest. He's not the tallest, he's one of the tallest. Okay, Greenland is one of the coldest islands in the world. Again, not islands, because we're saying one of the. Okay, and therefore there are islands that might be a little bit closer to the North Pole, a little bit colder. Okay, now we will talk about nominal numbers. Nominal numbers being, for instance, second, third, fourth, fifth, 100th, 1,000th, a tenth of 1,000th, etc., etc. Okay, it's infinite. Canada is the second largest country in the world. Not the first, not the third, but the second. We're being specific, okay, here. Marty is the 20th wealthiest person in the country. Okay, so there are 19 people more wealthy than Marty. So Marty's, it's not bad being the 20th, isn't it? Okay, Britain has the 5th richest economy in the world. Okay, we're not the first, not the second, not the third, not the fourth, but the 5th. It's been specific, but we can use a superlative because it's a nominal number. Okay, and that's it. That's my presentation. If you like that, please click a like at the bottom. Please subscribe. The more subscribers, the better. It would be great to get this channel moving faster. Anyway, been a pleasure. Until the next time, have a great day.